Greetings and welcome to Space Empires 5. This was one of my all-time favorite 4X space strategy games. Recently toppled by Distant Worlds, which is now my favorite 4X space game. But this one, I've actually played this for thousands of hours. I got a lot of time in on this. I haven't played it a lot recently, probably a couple years since I've played this. So this playthrough might be a little interesting as I sort of try and remember what I used to do in this game. I've actually owned this game twice. I bought it originally when it first came out from, I think, Strategy First, and proceeded to lose it in any documentation that ever owned it. So then I saw it on Steam for about $8. It was on sale, so I picked it up again. It's regular, I think, $14.99, so it's not a hugely expensive game. If it interests you at all, definitely pick it up. It'll definitely kill some hours for you. I guess we'll just dig in and start a new game. Again, I'll be micromanaging. Most of this game is micromanagement anyway, so there's some automation in it, but not much. It's a turn-based strategy as well. It's not real-time like Distant Worlds. I'm sure most people watching this are following me for the Distant World stuff, so hopefully you find this interesting. Okay, I hit new turn, and we're going to actually be playing with a balance mod. For some reason, development of this game just sort of stopped dead in the water, and there's some speculation on why that happened, but I won't get into it now. But the community sort of picked it up and carried on. This particular mod here helps balance out a bunch of stuff in the game. Trims down the tech tree a lot, so there's not so much retrofitting going on, that kind of stuff. So we're going to play with that one. Now, the version of that mod is version 1.19i. So I'll try to remember to put a link in the description to this. So we'll select that. Okay, now this is the game setup screen. There is an absolute ton of options for setting up a game. And I could probably spend over an hour trying to just, researching all the little technical settings you can make. But I've got some presets saved already, so I'm just going to go ahead and load those. We'll start with a medium map. And this gives us a spiral arm medium map, of course, and warp points located anywhere in the system. Normally, for a normal game, they're just located on the outer rim of each system, but this way, they're located anywhere. They could be right beside the sun, could be right beside your planet, wherever. It adds a little more randomization to the game. So then we got empires. Again, I'm not going to define one from scratch. I'm going to load one from a file just to save some time. Temporal. That's for vanilla though. Not sure what I meant by alt type, but we'll go with this one. I know this gives me temporal technologies, which is what I like to play with. So we'll load that one up. It fills in all the stuff here. This is basically the player settings. Technology cost is low, starting resources, quality of your home planet, all that kind of stuff. What scores you can display. I'm going to leave it on view all player scores, just so I know, can sort of gauge on where I am in the game. Like I said, I haven't played this in a while, so that might actually help me out a bit. So I'm just going to leave that. Normally I play with either just the allied players or my own score and just sort of make it a mystery on exactly how I'm doing. But I think for this game we'll go with that. And you can assign technology points, racial points for new players, all kinds of stuff in here. So, like I said, I've set this up already. So, number of computer players. I'm going to bump that up to medium, I think. Get more happening out there. Okay, now if we click on the empire and go Edit Empire, this will give us a whole bunch of setup options for empires, such as ship styles, race pictures, all that kind of stuff, flags. So this is the empire details. My emperor title is a praetor. Consortium is our empire type. Race details, you can pick your picture. I do have some Babylon 5 stuff installed, but I'm not going to select it because it does give me a bit of an error for some reason. I'm not sure what the problem is. I probably installed it wrong, but so you can change your picture. We can go with this wispy octopusy thingy. That's what we look like. So some of the artwork is kind of interesting in this game. So we'll just go with one of those. Planet type and atmosphere. I don't know whether that. I don't think I put too much thought into just picking that. I just picked it because it was there. I don't think there was any rhyme or reason to that. And you can define your governments. Each different government type has its own hits and misses on what it provides for you. There is one in the middle that gives you no specific advantages or disadvantages. I'm a collective. So if we look here, our population loyalty is increased by 10%, our intelligence is increased by 10%, research is decreased by 5%. So that's all the traits we get. So you make out good on some and you lose on others. So most of them are that way. So you just sort of pick out which one you want to do. I'm just going to leave it there. I had reasons for selecting it, so we'll just leave it. Society, what kind of society are we? We are a society of scientists. So research generation improved by 10% and combat attack reduced by 5%. So we're heavy on the research, and yeah, we take a bit of a hit on the aggression, but that's fine. I had a reason for picking it. So racial points, you can distribute this. You can set it up back on the other screen on how many racial points you get. I forget what I have, 1,500 or 2,000 or something like that. But here I've selected that we are smart, foolish builders. So we take a hit to our intelligence. Our space yards are increased by 10%, so we build ships a bit faster. And we took a 20 or 5% hit on our government type for research. No, that was attack. So we've actually increased by 15%, I think. Let's just have another quick look here. Research -5, and a racial trait gives us +10. So we're up 5% between those two traits, or those two settings. And then down here we got some specialized stuff such as temporal knowledge. That gives us some unique technologies in the game. There's other tech trees as well. Religion technology, psychic technology, organic technology, crystallurgy technology. So I think you can actually give yourself enough racial points that you can select all of these. But we'll just go with one. This is the basic text you start with. You can adjust this. You get so many points available, so you could -1 out in order to give yourself another one. But we'll just leave it as the way it's set up at the moment. And you can also define your biological description, society, and history if you want to go that detailed with it. So you can really role play this game. So we'll just save. So it looks like we're good to go here. So that's the basic setup. Like I said, there's a ton of options, and they all do some pretty wild things. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but play with them. See what you like. That's sort of what I did. So we'll begin a game. Did I mention? I think I mentioned this is on Steam. I think $14.99 this game costs. You can usually find it on sale for $8. I might have mentioned that already. I'm not sure. Player placement, and there we go. Here's our system screen. Now, there's a couple things I want to adjust first thing, but basically this is your play field here where all the grid is. And you know what? I really hate this grid. It just looks horrible to me. And I'm sure on a YouTube video it's going to look even worse. So we're actually going to disable that. And there's some text up here I don't like in my face either. We can get that by just right-clicking, going System Report. It doesn't list everything, but it lists the dangerous stuff. And there's another screen in here too that you can find this information. So it's not critical to actually have it right in your face. Some systems, I mean, it's a huge modifier list, so it actually takes up like that end of the screen. So it gets looking kind of ugly in some spots. So I'm just going to disable all that. Actually, I should show you what screen I come in to do this on. It's this screen here with the crown, Empire Options. This lists where your economy, how your economy is and everything. We'll look at this in a bit. But right now we want to go to System Display. And if we scroll down a bit, we can see there's the hex map grid settings. So I'm going to uncheck that. And System Modifiers text, I'm going to uncheck that as well. And if we come right to the bottom, there's other stuff, how big your Empire flags are and stuff. You can set all that up. But I'm going to come to the bottom. These are for the colonies that are above the planets. Gives you some basic information on what's on them. I want to know how many fighters, satellites, mines, drones, troops, weapon platforms I have on each of these planets. So I'm going to select all those. And that's what these are up here, these icons here. So once I get fighters in that, this will stretch out and we'll see some more boxes there and more information. So basically that's what we look like without the grid. And like I said, I don't play with the grid much. I don't like it. It's just ugly to me. It is a hex grid, so it makes the strategies kind of interesting. Okay, so first thing we want to do is have a look at our science, our research. So that's the microscope. Shift R is the hotkey for that. And as you can see, this is a huge tech tree. It goes on and on and on and on, and that's not all of it. Some stuff you research, like, what's a good example here? Weapon mounts is a good one. Once you research this, it actually opens up. If you look up to expected results here, after I hover over it, you can see that the expected results is ship weapon mounts, base weapon mounts, and unit weapon mounts. So the research in this one's actually going to open up 3 more tech areas. So you can see how the tech tree will expand as we play on. Another example of that is at the top, cultural studies. That gives you, if you look up here, that gives you 5 other tech areas to research. So as you can see, the tech tree will actually grow as we start researching. Now, as far as what we're going to research, I like to get another level on temporal technology. Because if we look up into the expected results up here, we see we have temporal scanners. And I think level 1 gives us a range of 5 hexes. This is how far we can actually see. Gives us a range of 5 hexes. So if we get another level on that, that'll give us a sight range of 6 hexes, which is lots. Certainly more than standard sensors. So I'm going to take a level on that right off the bat. Now, it says it takes 0.1 years. The way this game is set up, each turn is a tenth of a year, or 0.1 of a year. So 10 turns equals 1 year. That's how that's done. So it's 1 turn to research this. What else did I used to go for? Repair is a good one. 10% on that. What else was there? Oh, medical treatment. This game does have plagues and stuff that can go wrong with your health, so you definitely want some medical facilities. I think we go 10% on. No, we gotta go to probably 25. Oh, 28. Okay, so again, we're still within the 1 turn. And I should point out, we did start with a bonus. We got 55,000 research points available. 50,000 of that is a bonus for turn 1. We won't get that in the next turn. So our actual turn per turn research available is 5550. So when we come back in next turn, things are going to be a lot slower. We're not going to get much in like 1 turn anymore. We'll be a few turns getting everything. So we try to make this first turn count. Getting some quick stuff that we need right off the bat. Sometimes I go for espionage just because it's ultra cheap and might as well get a level on it, right? Yeah, we'll go with that. So I think 5% will, yep. So we'll go 5% here as well. Oh, that's as far as we can go. We're at 100%. Well, I might pull that one off. We'll go 5% on ships and fleets. And where can we throw 2%? Just throw it somewhere. No, go for armor. There. See, that one would take 14 turns, 1.4 years. But maybe once these ones, we'll put 100% on that next turn and we'll finish that up quickly. Okay, and you can sort whether you're looking at applied sciences, cultural achievements, weapon or research and tech, or research and progress. So this is all the stuff we just selected. So it's a quick glance at what we got going on right now. I try not to diversify too much. I'll usually go for one or two techs at a time, but I don't go like for 10 at a time because that'll really slow everything down. Some stuff you want a little quicker than that. Okay, so now that we're researching stuff, we have absolutely no ships, so we have to design some ships. So we're going to come into the design screen, which is hotkey of Shift D or the second button in. And this is our design screen, so we got nothing going on here yet. No design, so we're going to create one. And we're going to select a ship. And we're going to use a frigate. We get different vehicle sizes as we go. So frigate right now is all that's available to us. I think destroyers come with the next technology level in ship construction or something like that. So this is what a ship looks like, and these boxes are where the components go. These are the components down here. There's different spots for different things. O means outer hull, so you can put all your weapons and stuff there. Engines, that sort of stuff. Inner hull is basically, you can put, your bridge and all that kind of stuff on the inner hull. A is for armor. Put all your armor in those spots. So the first thing I want to do is select his design type. We'll go with an explorer ship, because that's basically what this is going to do. And at this point we can go autocomplete. As soon as we select a design type, then we can go autocomplete, and the computer will actually just finish the ship for us. Boom, done. So that's pretty easy. Of course, I want to tweak a few things here. First of all, that's a ton of armor on this thing, and for an explorer ship, if it gets attacked and I lose it, big deal, we build another one, right? So I'm going to take some of this armor off. Take at least one off. Okay, up here we have tonnage used. So it was at 250. I took a piece of armor off, so that freed up 20 kilotons of space. Now, if we click this box, we get some more information on how fast it'll move, the whole structure, that sort of thing. Attack modifier, defense modifiers, ordnance, which is your bullets and stuff like that, supply capacity, fuel, food, that sort of thing. So because it's an explorer ship, we kind of want to be able to go far, so supply capacity is actually somewhat important. This will actually get a fair distance on 4,000, but not very far. You get to about 2,000 with supplies left, you pretty much got to turn around and head back for some more supplies. So you got to consider a two-way trip when you're looking at this number. If we're building a colony ship, then we only have to consider going one way. So we could get away with maybe 4,000, but I'm going to add some more to this. Large storage capacity, so this is a component right there. So we'll throw that one there. Again, this is the AI design. It throws, there is 3 decks you can use. It throws everything on the upper deck. Yeah. So when I actually design, I'm not going to worry about it this time. Maybe for the next ship we'll do a manual design, but I generally distribute everything towards the 3 levels. I put my engines on the bottom, and my command centers and everything in the middle, and then weapons and everything on the top. But for this one, just for the sake of getting it done quick, we'll just go this way. Now, the one thing I want to do also is basic sensors. If we right-click on that, we'll get some information. They scan at level 1, and they have a distance of 3 sectors. But we have temporal technologies. There's our temporal sensors. We right-click on that, scans at level 6 with a range of 5 sectors. Much better. And once we research that one tech level, next turn, that'll be 6 sectors. So that's sort of how that works. So I'm going to get rid of this. And we'll grab one of these. And that puts us above size by 30 kilotons. So I'm just going to remove this piece of armor. So we're still 10 over. That'd be 5. Let's put that weapon there. Maybe I'll get rid of one of these and go with small. There's 2 sizes of supply storage. One's only 5 kilotons, the other one's 20 kilotons. So what I might do is pull one of these off, and we'll put 2 of these ones on. Okay, I don't know if you noticed what I did there. I'm just going to pull this off again for a sec. I came over, I grabbed one of these. Now you can just drop it, come over, grab another one, drop it, or when you grab this one, you can hold down the shift key and it retains a copy of it on the mouse. So if we hit the shift key and then click, it drops one, but we keep one on the mouse so we can continue to go around, drop them on the ship. So use the shift key if you want to place more than one item. One of an item, I guess I should word it. Okay, so we're at 250. That's a pretty good ship. We got 1 weapon, a bit of ordnance, some supply. It will get us 4,500. I'd still like to get it bigger than that. I could lose the ordnance. That'll leave us 250. This isn't going to get us in too many fights anyways. Basically want this guy to actually run away from a fight. So we'll put 1 more on. There's 4750. So that gets him a little further. Now, when we talk about defending ourselves, let's set strategy. These are all the different strategies you can use. You can blockade enemy planets, capture enemy planets, go to optimal range for firing. These guys, we basically don't want them to get hurt. There's a kamikaze option as well, so they'll ram a ship. So we don't want them to get hurt, so we're just going to set it like that. So basically it sees an enemy, it's going to try and get away the best it can. And that's our design. So we're just going to give it a name. And because it's an explorer, we're going to call it a Columbus. Okay, so that's our design finished. So we're going to hit create. And there it is in our list. Okay, now that we got it designed, we still have to build it. So there's a couple ways to get to the build queue. You can either just go to the planet, select the planet, and hit the queue key, which will bring up our queue. And then we can, there's facilities we can build, ships, units. We can upgrade from here. There's also a handy queue screen. When you have more than one queue, they'll all be listed in here, and you can come in here, double click, and select what you need. Condense the view a bit. Now, this information here is, to me, is absolutely useless. This absolutely tells me nothing. It's some information you can, you can utilize it if you want, but this really doesn't tell me a whole lot. So what we can do is we can actually adjust this layout to give us some more pertinent information. So if we hit the layout button, there's some presets in here. You can go can construct or the construction, but I'm going to go to custom layout because there's a specific amount of stuff I want on this report. And in this screen, we'll take a picture of the planet. We'll take the name. It's not actually planets. You can have construction ships as well. So queue picture, I guess. So it's not only planets that can build stuff. It's the spaceports that they're the space yards at the planets that build stuff. So we want that picture. We want item under construction. We want the time remaining for that item. What else did I used to get here? Oh, can construct ships. That's a good one, whether it has a spaceport or not. Because if it doesn't have a spaceport, then you can't construct ships. You can only construct facilities. And remaining cargo space and remaining facility space. And we'll hit create. So that'll give us a specialized report. Enter a name for the new layout. It can be anything because you can't really recall this list anyway, so just type in whatever. Okay, so now my report's going to include the item under construction, the time till completion, whether this place can build ships or not, and the cargo capacity and these facility capacities remaining. So if we double click here, we get the same queue screen that we got when we went to the planet and hit queue. If you want to know more about the planet, there's a bit of information here. Shows facility space where we've used 20,000 kilotons of 20,000 kilotons. So this planet is full. It's empty for cargo. There's no cargo on it. And you can see that it can build facilities, ships, units, all that kind of stuff, and our construction rate. If you right click, you get more information, planet value, production values, population, races that are here. You can have more races on each planet, more than one race. Construction, we haven't built anything yet, but it would list in here if we had anything going. And these are all the facilities we have on the planet. Research centers. This is all the stuff we needed to get going. So the game started with all this, but more subsequent planets will have to build all this stuff manually. Cargo, like I said, troops or fighters or whatever we happen to be building here. And all the abilities of this particular system. And there's a whack of modifiers here if you want to wander through and read all these and figure it out. So for now, it defaults with facilities. So if we wanted to build another intelligence center, we would do that. But of course, we're full and we can't do it. So we'll go to ships. And there's our Columbus that we designed. So we can either double click or hit add item. And that's going to take 2 turns to construct. And there we go. Item under construction, and the time left. Okay, so I think that's about all we can do for this turn. I won't bother going into each one of these screens. We'll be in them eventually anyway. So we will take a look at our finances here quickly. This is the income from the colonies. There's also mining ships that can provide this stuff. We can get it from trade or tariffs. There's a remote mining there for mining ships. So that's our total income. There's our expenses. Maintenance costs on our facilities and stuff come off here. And ships as well. And construction queues. This is what we need to build that one ship we have in queued. And that's the total expenses. And there's your net here. Total in storage. This is basically your bank account. This is what you have stockpiled. But there's also maximum storage. You can hit the maximum, and anything over and above 100,000 is basically wasted. It just goes out in the wind. You don't get to use it. So it's important to keep your storage numbers up. So that's basically the economic breakdown. It's not very complicated, but vehicle size. This will show how many of each vehicle you have. This will expand as we get more technologies. And like I said, all the other settings for the game are in here as well. Okay, so that's it for turn 1. It took us pretty much the half an hour to do the turn. So we'll go hit next turn. And some of the UI noises are kind of clunky, but sort of get used to that. Looks like 10 players besides me. And there's all our new tech levels. There's our new level on temporal sensors, our new facilities, medical bays. So that's pretty active for research. Like I said, we started off with a 50,000 point bonus, so that's why we got so much research in one go here. So if we come back to research now, okay, so we started armor. So if I zero all these out, we'll throw it all on armor. It's going to take 3 turns now because we only got 5,550 research points available each turn. So it's not going to be as quick as it looked on turn 1. So we're going to be a bit of time researching some of this stuff. Okay, well, not much else happened, so we can just go ahead and go to the next turn. Okay, we have a ship constructed. There we go. Okay. So, we'll select the ship. Generally, you have to select one or the other. It's got the planet and the ship selected right now, so we unselect the ship, or the planet, so we just have the ship selected. Now, if we turn the grid back on just for a second, we can see our sight range is 5 hexes. Whereas the regular sensors are 3 hexes. So we'd only be able to see about that much. So we'd have to do a lot of zigzagging around to actually explore all this. The red is unexplored, the green is explored. So, but with temporal sensors, as you can see, we can pretty much see right across. So all we have to do is take one swoop around this system and we know it all. So that's why I like temporal technology. It makes the beginning exploration much, much quicker. And as you can see on this is the map here. I'll expand it out a bit. We're way down here, right in the corner. So it's actually, I kind of like starting on the edge. There's not so much to watch for. Everybody else will be out this way, not back here. So it's kind of like keeping your back to a wall. Okay, so, and we'll turn that ugly grid back off. So to move this ship, you can either right click, move to, or you can hit the M key and then just left click. Okay, and as you can see, we're revealing some stuff. You can also stack commands. So if we want to go here now, the 0 meant we can do it this turn. 1 means it's going to be one more turn. So we can actually plot out the entire course for this system. So we'll go move, M key, and we'll move back to the planet. Okay, so that's what that ship's going to do for the next 3 turns. And you can come in and edit these orders somewhere in here. Settings orders, yeah. So repeat orders, clear orders, view orders. So there's all the orders we just gave that ship. And we can actually, if we don't want to do like that order right there, we can actually remove it. So you can edit the orders here, which is really nice. Okay, so that's it for that. Our construction queue is now empty. And we can build colony ships now. I don't see a colony we can inhabit yet. There's little symbols that'll appear if it's an inhabitable planet. Hopefully we'll get something out here. If not, we might have to move to the next system to find one. But we definitely want to get some settling going on. So we're going to come back into our ship designs. And we're going to hit create a ship. And we're going to hit colony ship. And this will give you a bit of a breakdown on what needs to happen for a colony ship. You can read through that if you want. And that's what our colony ships look like. So again, we set the type. And it's an ice colonizer. So there's our colony module here. So I'm going to do this one manually. So on the upper deck, I'm going to put our colony module. Okay, on our middle decks, we're going to put our bridge. You can see up here there's warnings. We got to name the design. We must have a bridge on our ship, so we'll put the bridge on. So that warning went away. There must be a name, so we'll set the name as an icer just to give it a good relevant name. We need crews or support systems for 100 crew. So life support for 100 crew. So again, we click on the component. Because we need to place 2 of these, actually it should, yeah. As you can see, it provides life support for 50 crew members. So for 100, we're going to need 2 of these. So if we come over and if I hold down the shift key, I can drop one, retain a copy on the mouse, and then drop the other one. And we need to do the same for crew quarters. Again, shift key, drop the other one. Okay, now engines. We'll pick up an engine. I'm not sure how many this will take, but probably like 5 or 6. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We get 7. Oops. No. So a warning came up saying we can only have 6 engines. So we'll get rid of this. Hold down the shift key, click, and it's gone. Okay, so that's that. I think we got everything we need, and we still have 50 space free. Now I could either put some armor on it or how's our supply stuff. Now because it's a colony ship, it's only going to be making one-way trips, so 3600 is actually probably going to be enough for the beginning here. So I'm not going to worry about putting more supply capacity on it. What I am going to put on it is a couple of cargo bays. So I'm going to put 2 of those on. The reason I'm putting those on colony ships is we can carry population in these. So besides, I don't know whether this gives us, I don't know whether this component will actually give us population, because I think the reason I put these cargo bays on was to take population with me so I wouldn't have to do it later. So the colony module itself probably doesn't give you any population. That just colonizes a planet. So you still got to put population on it. So it's a good idea to take some cargo space and just grab some population while you're heading out. Okay, so 390, maybe we'll throw a couple pieces of armor on there. And we're done. And as far as the strategy goes, don't get hurt. Okay, so we'll create that. We will close. And we will queue one of those up. So I'll hit Q when we select our planet. And there it is. So I'll double click that. Put it in our queue. It's going to take 2 turns to complete, which will actually probably be next episode because we're at 35 minutes. So that's a basic let's get into Space Empires 5 episode, I guess. It's a good game. I like it. I've played 3 and 4 as well. This was definitely a good step up with the 3D engine. It's just too bad the development sort of stopped on it. I would really like to see a Space Empires 6. But there's absolutely no word on that, so not that I've noticed. Okay, just before we go, if we come into our Empire screen, this will list all the people we've met. We haven't met anybody yet, but because I clicked that one option on the setup, we can actually come into comparisons and see how we're doing. We're in 2nd place, behind the Abaddon Enclave. So we're the only one with a ship. These guys have 2 units, so that could be satellites, fighters, troops, who knows. We're all tied in population, planets, tied a bit ahead in the tech. Research points, wow! No wonder he's 1st place. That could be a racial trait or something that's boosted him. So, yeah. Okay, that looks pretty good out the gate. So I think we got a pretty good game started. And we'll see where it takes us. I'm not sure how far I'll play this through, but we'll definitely have a good look at a few episodes anyways. And I might get my butt kicked before too long. Like I said, it's been a couple years since I've played this, so I don't even remember what paths I used to take and whatnot. So anyways, thanks for joining me, and hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.